Hello everyone, welcome again back to Iron Grit Strength. Said the videos would be thicker and faster than they have been previous, and I am going to do my best to keep it that way. So, as you've probably guessed from the title, we are talking about breathing and bracing. Now, this is potentially the most important thing anyone needs to know if they ever want to pick up anything with any sort of intention. Definitely if it's going to be something heavy. Now, when you breathe, normally, when someone says, I'll get a big breath, how many times do you see people go like that? Right. Now, do that and try to pick something up, and you will collapse. Because what you have done to your core, that is all that section around us, that is our core. Our abs, obliques, lower back, that cushioned area there, that's almost like a cylinder. If you imagine it as like a sort of like cylinder shaped. Here we go. Bit of fast rep. Imagine that's your core. That's your cylinder. What we have going around in our cylinder all the time, air. We breathe in air all the time, because if we don't, as not my midwife, as the midwife for my wife's third child said, if you don't breathe, you die. So there we go. So to get a proper breath, if you go and pick up anything, best way to do this, you can do this lying down. That way, that eliminates cheating, any form of cheating whatsoever. If you're sat up straight enough on something with the back on it, then you could do it that way. But you might find it easier to actually get the idea of it if you're lying down. And put your hands on your belly, sort of hereish, right? And just breathe, just naturally breathe in through your nose. Now, if you're doing it properly, as you breathe in, you should feel your belly pushing out. Because when you breathe in, that is where the air goes. If you're breathing in naturally, not trying to put like shoulders back, like yourself, that's not breathing in properly, that's breathing in inaccurately, and that is breathing in and weakening your core. Because now your cylinder, instead of being tight, your cylinder's gone in like this, and that is when you're going to crash on yourself. The only times, I say times because it has happened twice, but the only times I've actually come anywhere close to injuring myself training is when I have failed on my breathing and bracing, and on both occasions it was when I was squatting and something inside went twang, a nerve went somewhere, and I had to put the luckily I was able to at least get the bar back on the rack, and then I was like in agony for a while. So to breathe and brace properly, hands on your tummy like there. Right, now I'll do a side view from this. See, this one again, it would be better if I'd done this on my phone, but again, as I did say about the phone needing charging, it needs to charge. Right now it's not charging. So yeah, here we go. We'll stand up to the side. I'm still here. Right, now when you breathe in, let's have a look, see what happens with the belly. Right, as you can see, it's not poking out major, but it is poking out, because that's what it's supposed to do. When you breathe in, you're breathing in down low. That means it's going to go to the belly, because that's the lower part of your core. So you take a deep breath. When your belly's full, you hold it, then you go and lift. So just practice that with me now. If you want to practice along with me, say you got something on the floor. See, made that noise. Wasn't breathing and bracing. just get something with a little bit of weight. I got these shoes, like solid top shoes, like deadlifts and stuff and squats and whatnot. I'm going to pick that up without doing any sort of breathing. I'm not going to exaggerate anything. This is all just natural how it's going. That was picking that up without breathing and bracing. Now I'm going to do it breathing and bracing. And also you'll see how I breathe as well. I don't do it in one breath. I take about 2 or 3 breaths. One in the nose, and when I've got all the air in my belly from my nose, I'll take some in my mouth, and then I'll do one more sharp one, which sort of like, that's like blowing up your balloon. Right, so and yeah, when you get to the top, when you finish doing what you're doing, when that breath is gone, you will feel that breath going out, and it's even going to feel quite unnatural to begin with. If you've never done breathing and bracing like this, it is going to feel a little bit weird for the first few times while you're doing it. So it's probably a really good idea would be to practice it. You can practice it anytime, as long as you're sat up straight. When you, I mean, I've done it at work. You know, if you're stood up straight, no slouching, or lie down on the ground if you have problems trying to stand up without slouching, or you're on a chair which has got a solid back for you to lean against. The belly. Now, the first breath, imagine all that air, so into the nose, all of that going into the belly. The second breath, just remember, your core is a cylinder, circular. So there's room for air there, but there's also room for air. If you could just imagine, visualize room for air on the obliques, the sides. And also there's room for air at the lower back. So that entire part here, stomach, obliques, lower back. The first breath is going to go all to the belly. That second breath that you breathe in through the mouth, imagine you can feel it, the air going round to the obliques and to the lower back. And then that last sharp one, that is like a clamp. It's like clamping all that air in. Ready? We'll do it together again. So 1, I'll do 2, and I'll do 3, and I'll do 3. So 1, the nose. And I see, yes, you sat down. I might make funnier faces. Stood up, I might make even more funnier faces. But you get the idea. You get the idea. What you will feel, if you're doing it right, what you will definitely feel, you will feel your belly expanding. That is why we wear, well, it's why a lot of strength athletes, weightlifters, wear these big chunky belts. It's not a fashion statement. We clip the belts into place. Where those belts are thick, what's this about 4 inches or so, I think. Yeah. Well, those belts are that thick, so they can cover completely over your midsection. They cover like that part of your belly. And we clamp them in place, or buckle, whichever style people have them on. And as you breathe in, this is the belt, this is your belly. As you breathe in, it wants to push out further, but the belt that you've buckled is holding it in. And that is what makes the core solid at the point of lifting. Knowing when to breathe and brace, that is all another video for another time. In an instruction video, for example, on how to deadlift, I will tell you when is the better time to breathe and brace when I show the exercise. So that will be for another time. So for now, there we go. Breathing and bracing. Should have covered how to do it, why to do it, and when to do it. Yes, obviously do it when you're lifting. That's not even a question. Well, no, it is a question. So yeah, obviously do it when you're lifting, before you're lifting. Anything. Yeah, all right, some people might say, oh, is there much point breathing and bracing for a lighter weight? There's never a reason not to breathe and brace if you are doing a form of exercise which involves lifting up an implement. In my mind, that's how I look at it anyway. And as I say, if you're unsure about your breathing and bracing, practice it. It will feel awkward to start with. It might well feel odd. It won't feel entirely natural. If you're not used to doing it, it won't feel natural, and your stomach might even feel a little bit achy after it. That's because it's, again, that's a muscle as well, your core, you know, and you're working it harder because you need to work it harder to get hard work done, for want of a better word. So there we go. That is breathing and that is bracing. If you've got any questions, just dropping them in the comments. If you are after a strength coach, drop into the comments. Email will be in the description below. You can also contact me on Instagram via Iron Grit Strength and Paul Hiley Lifts, but I would say go for Iron Grit Strength. So yeah, Iron Grit Strength on Instagram and email along there. First 4 sessions are free, although after that, if you do want to continue using me as your strength coach, I will have to charge after that. Right, so there we go. Get your breathing, get your bracing, get lifting. And as always, keep strong, keep happy, keep healthy, and I'll speak to you all later. Ta-da.